Aaron.
Here.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Aaron is here, everyone. Joined once again by the lovely, relatable Reese. How's it going?
Hey guys, good. How are you today, Aaron?
I'm doing good.
Is there anything about your life that you want to share?
No.
Not really.
No,
Okay.
not really. Guys, reminder, if you're not yet subscribed to Reese, you can find her on YouTube over at Relatable Reese. I have her channel linked in the description down below. Once again, Scientology done messed up by letting 007 Secret Agent Reese into their Facebook groups. And my goodness, you have a gold mine, a gold mine of posts from Scientologists that give a glimpse into the real wacky world of Scientology.
It was like Black Friday, like getting the last TV on Black Friday when I was doing those screenshots. Like my family wanted dinner and I was like, nobody talk to me. And I was like screenshotting as fast as I possibly could because I thought I was going to be kicked out. So I did get that gold mine. It's pretty awesome.
Yes. And well, shall we just jump right into it?
I think we should.
All right. Okay, so Erin Kimball Scholes. I don't recognize her. People get married and divorced so often in Scientology. Sometimes I won't recognize a name because I don't know them as that name, but I don't recognize that person either. You don't recognize them, do you?
No.
Okay, let's take a look at this. I just have to share a parenting win. Okay, right. I'm just instantly thrown back into the Scientology mindset of like having to have wins on everything. Every tiny little thing has to be characterized as a win or a success. It can't just be a parenting experience. It's got to be a win. It's got to be a win.
That's a good point you make, actually. Everything's a win.
Yeah.
I got to share a win with you.
Okay, so what is Aaron's win? Both kids have been doing courses at St. Hill in the weekends while my husband and I twin on the SRD. Okay, well, we already have a bunch to unpack. St. Hill is the Sea Org organization in East Grinstead, West Sussex of England. The SRD is the survival rundown. It's what used to be known as the TRs and objectives. It's been expanded and updated, and it's basically walking around, touching walls and tables and cooters, basically.
Cooters
right?
And a lot of shouting.
Yes, a lot of shouting at ashtrays and stuff. Okay, not entirely accurate, but it'll do. My son, who is 9 years old, is on Setting and Achieving Your Goals. Oh, thank God he's not just a bum, an out ethics crim bum staying at home doing nothing. These 9-year-olds need goals.
Don't be the vice president of lazy, kid. You better have some goals. What's he gonna do next? The how to get motivated course? I wonder. He probably already did that one.
He's gonna be the next Sea Org executive at St. Hill once he finishes his Achieving Your Goals. If only David Miscavige had done that course, maybe he'd be finished with his ideal org program by now.
What's disappointing about that little tiny bit we're reading is the lady yesterday had a daughter who wanted to go to Yale and be a lawyer, but that wasn't quite a good enough goal for her.
Yeah.
So what is this? Is this purpose of Setting and Achieving Your Goals in Scientology is what this course should be called. Yeah.
How to change your children's goals so that they all want to work for the Office of Special Affairs.
So they all line up with OSA. Yeah.
Okay, her 7-year-old is on the How to Use a Dictionary course. The supervisors at St. Hill are treating them just like adults.
Why is that, Aaron?
Why would they be treating 7-year-olds and 9-year-olds like adults? Could it be because Scientology doesn't believe in kids?
It could be. I think that could be. Yes, go on.
Has some sinister ramifications, usually. The supervisor, okay, my son even had to clear 40 words in one course period, but he stuck with it and he had great wins.
That course period went on to like 6 more course periods, just so you know. That's not one probably. Do you think? Like if you're in the middle of a word chain clearing words, you don't get to get off course. Like if you're supposed to be done at 3:30, but you're in the middle of that, you have to continue till you're done. So that kid was
Yeah.
probably there for a while. He was probably there
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah. By the way, notice there's nothing she's spoken about so far that has anything to do with being a parent.
Well, didn't she say she had a parenting win?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
everything she's talking about is my kids are on course. I don't know. Let's see where she goes with it. Anyways, I came downstairs this morning and both my kids were working on their homework with a dictionary on the table. My son immediately said how they were doing like at St. Hill and had already cleared a couple words that my daughter didn't understand in her homework. I looked at her answers later for reading comprehension and they were actually really good. Note that she is the youngest in her class by far and does English work in 1 year higher than her class. So it is not easy stuff for her age. It is so fun to see the various ways having them on course comes back in life. I was still waiting for the parenting win, and I did not hear anything there that had to do with being a parent.
Does it go on more? Is there more to it?
No, that's the end of it. I mean,
So it was just a win for herself that she has good little Scientology soldiers
that's
that are
right.
learning how to set and achieve goals.
Well, I guess
9.
we have to keep in mind that the Facebook group is Scientology moms. So a win as a parent is my kid is learning Scientology, so I must have done something right as a mom. So I guess she's having a win. I am a good mother because my kids are picking up Scientology.
Yes, they're very proud of themselves, are they not?
Yeah. Okay, this next one seems to come from someone who audits children or one of those organizations, those little private groups that audits
There was more
children.
to that one, Aaron. There was a beginning of that one.
There was. Okay, let me try to find it real quick.
Well, I can go back with you because I sent these to you. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
For reals?
What does it start with? We've had 4 non-Scientology patients.
Yes. Well, here, let's just go on. Let's just go on to the. Well, let's just start with. We'll do it. We'll just start with. We'll just do this, because otherwise we'll skip it and go to the next one. But there's enough in here to do something.
Okay.
Okay. If I can get it to zoom in. There we go.
Okay. Oh, you got it.
Oh Lord. Okay. All right. We've had 4 non-Scientology patients get trained and certified in self-analysis after having such massive wins themselves. Boy, do you remember what the original beginning of this post was? What patients are they talking about?
I thought I sent you the beginning of this post.
I'm looking at your texts.
What if I found it real quick? Would you be able to add it?
You could just read it out loud.
Okay. Let me see what I can do. Because it's like right here at the top. Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, is it that I just have to
Christina
share?
Matthews Kemp.
Just read it. I don't see it.
Okay, Christina Matthews Kemp. Sometimes you have to take a step back and look at how far you've come. In 2012, I did my life repair. I thought I sent you this. I was blown away. I couldn't believe I had never heard of auditing. Okay, so she was not born and raised. Then in 2014, after I attested to clear, I decided I really wanted to create an impact. So I was a single mom and I couldn't join the Sea Org. That's too bad. I wasn't sure how I could join staff and still support my kids. So I came up with an idea. I wrote out an admin scale. I talked to friends. I Q&A'd forever about fear. And then 2 years ago, I jumped. I feel like I'm reading a children's story. I opened a chiropractic and applied kinesiology clinic that incorporates Scientology in every patient's care. That seems kind of sick. For the past 2 years, I've had my head down, working my butt off. But today I took a step back and really looked at what's been done. We've given 3,500 free assists to our patients. We've taught dozens of parents how to do them with their kids and family. And
that's where it begins here.
Yes, go on.
And we've had 4 non-Scientology patients get trained and certified in self-analysis after having such massive wins themselves. Okay, but that's what self-analysis is, something you do on yourself. So, so anyway, okay. Our entire staff is on WISE courses and moving on their own auditing. Okay, so that's an example of making your employees do Scientology. All the staff kids are receiving daily assists. Patients are now doing life repairs. Now, life repair is actual professional metered auditing delivered in an org. So this chiropractic practice, applied kinesiology, is really just acting as a recruiting operation for Scientology. We get daily phone calls now because we have a reputation that we can help with unusual things. Last week, a lady called and asked if we could help with a fear of her kids throwing up, which of course we can.
Oh my God.
We've opened a joining homeschool space for teenagers that is using study tech for staff and patients' kids. I live in the Bible Belt. Oh, it's interesting that a Scientologist would mention this as noteworthy because they like to pretend that you can be a Scientologist and a Christian and it's not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
I live in the Bible Belt and have had so little pushback. People love the clinic. We're super involved in the community and are known for helping. I'm amazed at the level of safe pointing we've been able to create. Well, I'm glad a Scientologist publicly or secretly publicly mentions the word safe pointing. That's something that Scientology does with non-Scientologists in the environment, to where they're not trying to get you into Scientology. They just want you to be an ally of them.
Mhm.
They want you to be someone who will come to their defense if Scientology is criticized in the local newspaper, for example. Okay. I'm amazed at the level of safe pointing we've been able to create. We're finally up the conditions and in power. I love when Scientologists claim to be in power.
I do too.
I know this is just the very beginning. This next year, we can only expand, and it's going to be magical. Okay.
Is that legal?
I'm guessing that the insurance companies wouldn't be happy that they're paying for secret Scientology.
Right, because they would never tell a patient that. Like what we're
Right.
applying, we're about to do something on you that's from the Church of Scientology. They're not telling people.
Right. Exactly. Okay, now the next one is from someone who's become somewhat rich and famous since the last time I saw her. And that is someone, she goes by Adi Arezzini. I guess that's a married name. I could have sworn I knew her as Adi Levy.
I've never heard of her.
She has a company called Teami Blends, which has become a little notorious on YouTube because it's one of these companies that fraudulently sells these detox products, meaning they're legitimately selling the products, but the
Is that Bobby Brown?
Who's Bobby Brown?
That makes me sad. Is that her with Bobby Brown? Bobby Brown's in the glasses.
I know Bobby Brown as like the guy who was married to Whitney Houston.
No, this is different. This is Bobby Brown, who started the giant makeup cosmetic line and then left it, but it's very, very popular. It's a huge business. That's sad. So that's her with Bobby Brown. Okay.
Oh, you know for sure that that's Bobby Brown?
100%. Yeah, I definitely know who. And
Yeah,
if you actually scroll up a tiny bit, scroll up a little more. No, to the top.
Oh.
To the top.
Oh, it says just Bobby.
Yeah, that's Bobby.
Yeah. So Adi's just someone who grew up in Scientology and jumped on this grifter bandwagon of the kind of stuff that you can get away with selling in the health and beauty industry these days. But my understanding is that this company brings in tens of millions of dollars a year in revenue. There have been whole exposés on YouTube about this company and how it's kind of MLM-ish. Pretty clever in the marketing. Look, community. By the way, I noticed at the bottom, guys, it's not just a tea. It's a lifestyle.
We need to copy that, Aaron. We need our own name for our own show. I feel something like Merchants of Chaos. It's a lifestyle.
I love it. And I got bad news. Teami is barely a tea as it is. But let's see. Lifestyle. There was something. Oh, there's the tea. But look, I mean, it's really just a marketing vehicle that happens to sell a shitty tea that makes you shit. Now, if you're having trouble shitting, might I recommend grape nuts?
Oh my God. I don't have a gallbladder, so we know that I don't have problems. I'm not going to need this Teami, I don't think. I've
Yeah.
never heard of this. Have you guys actually heard of this? Where is it promoted?
It's just an online thing.
I mean, if it's like tens of millions of dollars, I feel like I need to know about it.
Yeah. So anyway, this is Adi. I guess she created the company. I mean,
Wow.
so Adi starts out with her favorite L. Ron Hubbard quote. But I can tell you this, that if you can give a child a good release, if you can straighten him out, so forth in his early years, you have done a very great deal for him, because these are the years in which he learns things. And that's so insightful. And you have made it possible for him to fill his standard banks and to think straight early enough so that he has an enormous advantage in life. L. Ron Hubbard from lecture Child Dianetics Part 2, 8 November 1950.
Better be thinking straight by about the age of 2, because you need to
I
get that
know.
full-time job by the time you're 5.
Exactly. So Adi says, my daughter has been going in sessions since she was 9 months old. I cannot recommend this enough to parents, even if there is nothing wrong with your child. You should not wait until something flares up in order to handle it. You should always improve. And that goes for our children as well. My mom is a class auditor and takes her in session. Mace Kingsley does the CSing. CSing, guys, stands for case supervision, and that's reviewing the notes of an auditing session to make sure it was done the way it was supposed to be done. So her mother is a CS at Mace Kingsley, and the entire team at Mace Kingsley is incredibly theta.
Her mom is an auditor, and Mace Kingsley does the CSing.
Oh, my bad. Yes, Mace Kingsley does the CSing, and the entire team there is incredibly theta.
Potatoes. That's probably not cheap, too. CSing is so expensive, you guys.
Yes. How would you describe what the word theta means in this context? Can you use it in a sentence, please?
Let me first tell you what it means for me in my own words. Theta, guys, is just really happy vibes, good vibes. There's more to that one, Aaron.
Indeed. There's more. Okay, let's look at the rest of it. I try not to show the photos
people don't
of
like
their
the photos.
kids that they put on Facebook, even though there's not anything technically wrong with it. Okay. My mom is a class auditor and takes her in session. Mace Kingsley does the CSing, and the entire team there is incredibly theta. I'm posting this because I am so keyed out about the wins my daughter is having from her processing, and I wanted to share.
9 months old. This kid's been going in session since 9 months old.
Wow. Okay. What do we have next?
What an incredible mom win, though, by the way.
Yeah, I like how she says, you don't have to wait until there's something wrong with you to get auditing, which is funny because there's no Scientologist in the world that thinks that's why people get auditing.
It is. A lot of the things they're saying contradict in this group, don't you think? Like, it's kind of shocking. I love that we got this many screenshots, because I haven't read any of them, guys. I mean, I don't know about you, Aaron. We're with fresh eyes, just like you guys are. So it's hilarious to watch. But I would imagine this group's going to get shut down. Also, don't wait till there's something wrong with them. Does that mean that she went through the implant station? Because there shouldn't be anything wrong with her. She should be just coming back smooth sales, right?
Are you telling me that Adi pulled in a being for her child's body that was not a past life OT?
I was just going to say that wasn't OT. Because yesterday, Rachel, as you remember, was a returnee.
Yes.
And said, welcome back, sir. You know, some people said in the comments, and I agree with this, if Rachel came back and went back into the Sea Org, just welcome back, sir, why did she have to re-sign a contract? Are we starting over?
And why does she have to do the EPF again?
That should be retroactive.
I think you should only have to do the EPF once every 5 lifetimes.
At least, I mean, I would think 10, but if you want to settle for 5, whatever. But I just felt like that's not fair that Rachel had to sign a contract. Why didn't they pull up her old contract?
I agree. And number of times over does equal certainty and results. So maybe doing the EPF once a lifetime isn't the worst thing. Sometimes you forget what was on those lectures,
Intention is cause, Aaron.
Indeed. That's what I always say. Okay, guys, I should warn you in advance. The next few posts get into Scientology mothers' thoughts and concerns about the LGBTQ community.
I thought that one seemed juicy, but that's all I saw. So I don't know if it's for it, against it. I'm not sure.
It tries very hard to be neither.
Okay. We're in for a show here, guys.
But Kendra Copeland, it was on her mind enough that she did think it needed to be brought up as a topic in the Scientology Moms Facebook group. Let's see how PC they can keep this thing. I want to talk to you guys about something that is quite controversial, but I've been thinking about it a while now, and I think it needs to be brought up. First, in case you don't know me, okay, this is where Scientologists sniff each other's butts like dogs meeting each other for the first time. In case you don't know me, I'm an OT7 Class 5 GAT2 field auditor, currently and actively auditing in the field. And I love the smell of my own farts. Oh.
Dick swinging. That's Grant Cardone style right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's
good shit.
Do you get that? Like so many of them. Were you ever that Scientologist? I could see you being a little bit of a dick swinger about it.
Hell no.
I never was a dick swinger.
On staff or the Sea Org, all you do is you tell someone what your post is. You're not like, and I'm a staff status 3, product 1 completion data series eval graduate. Oh, it's like, shut up. No one cares about anything but your post.
The only thing I did feel cool about, I'm just a personal thing. Whenever I would have to get a star rate, it felt cool to be like, I'm fast flow. So
yes, that's true.
I'm a fast flow student. Now I never got the pin that said FFS.
That would be full loser. Only losers wear the pins.
That's too Cardone for you. That's quite the dick swinger.
And Mark Headley figured out that you could just lie to people and tell them you're fast flow and nobody would ever know one way or the other. So that's what
especially if you went to another org to do services. They wouldn't know your certificates or background. You could have done that. You could have been like, I'm on 7 currently.
So people are asking what fast flow is. So on a Scientology course, there's certain references that have a star next to them. And that means you have to get what's called a star rate checkout. And that means you have to sit down with someone and that person, okay, if Reese has to get a star rate checkout and I'm giving her a star rate, I sit down, I take the reference she just finished reading and I pick, let's just say 5, 6, 10 different words. And I say, what is the definition of, and that word, and she has to give me the definition without any hesitation or it's a flunk. Okay, so once I've done checking the definitions of the words, I then ask her questions about the material that's in the reference, and I ask her to demonstrate things with Scientology's demo kit. And it's basically a test to make sure you understood that reference. Now, if you finished 2 particular courses in Scientology, you are exempt from having to receive star rate checkouts. If you finished the student hat course, and if you've received your method 1 word clearing, which is also a co-audit course, then you're called a fast flow student, which means you don't have to get checkouts. So you can get through your courses faster.
It's like buying the fast pass at Disney World. Like you can just go through the lines. It's the same.
It's
without
exactly
the anxiety
like
though. Disney World, no anxiety. Star
That's
rates,
right.
Anxiety. Like I would sweat, guys, when I'd need a star rate because Aaron, pretend, ask me the definition of theta.
What is the definition of theta? Flunk.
Exactly. I was going to make you do that, but you did it.
Go back and restudy. Go look up the word theta.
The whole fucking thing.
Restudy the reference and come back to me when you're ready to continue.
Now, guys, the reference could have taken me 3 hours to get through. The reference could be long, or if you have to restudy the tape you just listened to, that could be 20 pages.
That's the worst.
That's the worst. So imagine the anxiety. Like I go up there and I'm like, I need a star rate. I'm like sweating and I'm just hoping I get someone that's fast at them. Some people sucked at star rates and they'd ask you like 3 questions and you pass. And then you have the other person who's like literally,
me.
Yeah, that drags it out. So Aaron goes, what's the definition of theta? All I have to do is like look away for a minute even. I just have to go.
If she goes, flunk.
Yep, anything. But even if I don't say, even if I just hesitate, like silently, even if I go,
flunk.
So you have to really be good at being like, well, the definition, like you have to at least like fake it for a minute so you can start talking. Because the old school guys, especially, flunk. So you got to restudy it and then have to do it again. And you may pass that part. So then Aaron's going to ask me the definition of theta again when I come back. So I'll get that right. And he'll go, good. Okay. So what's the definition of?
Yeah. What's the definition of the word of?
Well, it depends on.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that was a little too fast. You could do it. Go ahead. What's the definition of the word of?
It depends on, I feel like if you, that's
flunk.
It. Yeah, that's it. You can't. And in Scientology, there's a small words common words small common words dictionary. So the definition of by L. Ron Hubbard may have what, 30 definitions?
I think it's like
There's
16.
yeah, there's a lot. So think about it for a minute. If he's asking me the definition of, I better know which one applies out of those 16 definitions to the word he's talking about.
Yeah.
So if
Now,
I get
if you
it wrong,
spit out a definition, I might give you the context and allow you an opportunity to give me the
yeah,
exact right definition. But that's
it's really
eventually, knowing how checkouts are done affects how you study because you know how you're going to get checked out.
yes,
And so anyway, so you were fast flow. Mark just figured out he could lie to people, and
that's
nobody would ever
crazy.
know.
Yeah, but see, you would know at your own org. So he
At
probably
your
went to a
own
different,
org.
yeah.
But if you go
So
to INT or you go to Flag or you go to LA, like nobody knows your study history.
that's awesome. I wish I would have thought of that. Could you also go to another org, I wonder, and be like, I just got back. I'm on 7.
That's right. You could be like, I'm on 7. I just moved here.
Oh my God. I'm dating Tom Cruise.
And they
I'm
can't
on
get your
7.
folders because an OT7's folders would
Yeah.
never leave Flag.
Oh my God. That's awesome. Okay. Sorry
Yeah.
to pull that away from what we were doing, but it's funny, guys. They dick swing real bad with their history of what they've accomplished.
So I'm an OT7. I'm a class 5 GAT2 field auditor, currently actively auditing in the field. I've been working with teenagers for 19 years as of this month. The subject I want to bring up is that of the LGBTQ community. If you have children right now who are in their teens or younger, your child is growing up in a different world than you did. If they are watching any movies, TV shows, YouTube, TikTok, you name it, they are exposed to a lot more than you probably know. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? I realize that everyone has different opinions, thoughts, considerations, tone levels, etc. on this subject. I'm not discussing that or giving you my opinions.
Sure, you're not.
I'm going to tell you what I see. I work with teenagers a lot. Every teenager is different. The one thing I've run into many times is this: an upset or a confusion with Scientology on the subject of gays, lesbians, transgender people. This upset or confusion does not stem from studying or understanding Scientology. It stems from their parents or someone else's opinions. In each case, these teenagers were told something that indicated to them that Scientology itself as a religion is against this community. That is not true at all.
Yes, it is.
This is incredible. So what I'm taking away from this is she's like, by the way, anyone who thinks Scientology is against the gays has just been told some bullshit by their family members and they've never actually studied it in Scientology. And that's a false idea that's been perpetuated by individuals, not by L. Ron Hubbard.
Fascinating. Somebody pull out their Science of Survival book because it's right there.
I wish I had one here, but I think we got rid of all that shit a while ago. But
I have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get my basic books out sometime so that we can have them here as pull out that policy and show it just like you would in the church.
Yeah.
Liars.
I wish you were still in the group and we could see all the responses to this, but maybe you pulled up something.
Screenshot them.
Okay. So let's see what else she has to say here. In this subject, a lot of society is in a sympathy propitiation band. And when others are showing any sign of attacking this community, they come up to anger very fast. Notice she says up to anger. That implies they were lower toned than anger to begin with, which is in line with what L. Ron Hubbard said, which is that if you're gay, you're at 1.1 on the tone scale, covert hostility, the most dangerous band of the tone scale, according to L. Ron Hubbard. And anger is 1.5, covert hostility is 1.1. Okay. One anti-LGBTQ tweet and you're attacked by 10,000 people. I'm trying to be very sensitive while writing this because the opinions on this subject are generally explosive, whichever way you have an opinion. And this post is not at all an opinion to support or not support anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The point of this post is I'm seeing more and more teenagers with this upset and connecting it to Scientology. Using Scientology to back up your own opinions on the subject creates a bad effect and acts as verbal tech, just like this post is verbal tech. If you are going to show your child the tone scale and science of survival as a reference to this subject, also be sure to show your child all the other references from LRH where he addresses this. There are many, and I am happy to share them. There is not one reference in all of Scientology where L. Ron Hubbard says it is okay or normal to be gay.
Not at all. It is very, it's super frowned upon, guys.
Yes. It's the most frowned upon thing in Scientology other than seeing a psychiatrist and taking any antidepressant or antipsychotic medication.
Yeah.
Okay, this continues on. Our new generation is going to come in with a different viewpoint than we did. I wonder what viewpoint that is. Don't alienate them with opinions that are contrary to what they are being raised to believe by society.
That's ridiculous.
Instead, get them on course and trained, and then get them clear, and then get them OT. They will be sane beings. Don't worry. Now, I wonder what we would be worried about.
Yeah, don't worry. Just that whole last paragraph to me was really kind of sick. Like, get them indoctrinated, brainwash them, and then they will be okay with our viewpoint. Don't worry.
Don't worry. They'll be sane, aka not gay.
I love how she blames society for the viewpoint toward gays, and it's not Scientology.
Yes, it's almost like, hey, if you tell your kids we're against gay people, it's going to make them mad. Don't tell them that. Let them find it out on their own when they've already started their auditor training. It'll be easier for them to process that way. That's how I sort of read this.
I screenshot a lot of the comments. Did I not? I'm almost positive I did.
All right. I think you did.
Yeah, I'm not as dumb as I look. I knew I did.
Amanda Lee Parkins, thank you for this. It's not only teenagers who run into this sort of upset. By the way, by this sort of upset, they're talking about people being upset that Scientology is anti-gay. Okay. I work in a company where that sympathy propitiation band is very much in play. And I find myself feeling like I have no right to an opinion, not only on this, but in general. One of my two teenagers is on staff, so he's okay. But the other is about to finish school and head out into the world, where she will no doubt also encounter these issues. We would appreciate your sharing the references you mentioned. I am currently doing the Science of Survival extension course too.
Wait a minute. So the one on staff is okay, but the other one's going to go into the world. So look out. That's what I mean. It's not safe. The world isn't safe, but he's on staff, so he's good.
The water's turning the kids gay, but not the water in the org, just the water in the public schools.
Just the water in the public. Yeah. And it's not the org that's causing it. It's not Science of Survival saying gays should, doesn't he say they should all be put on an island somewhere and like
quietly disposed of without sorrow?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone at 1-1 on the tone scale, which he makes very clear includes all the gays.
Yep.
Okay, now this is a separate post. I don't think this is a response to the one we just read, right? This is just a separate one.
Think so.
Okay. You frequent flyers will remember that Diane Norgard is someone who audits children.
At Mace Kingsley.
At Mace Kingsley. Here's my next tip. I often get asked, how do I get my child interested in doing courses? What I also see is sometimes a parent is troubled by a behavior or something a child is doing that is bothersome or worrisome. And so the parent will try to convince a child to do a course they feel will address that. Sometimes what courses address specific bad behavior?
Being worrisome about something.
Is it the Don't Be Gay course?
I mean, I've had all kinds of worries my whole life and none of it's ever been handled with Scientology. I still don't want to poop in public. Do you know how many times that I was told SRD will handle that for you?
Are you serious?
Yep. I was told that the science survival rundown would handle my fear of pooping in public. And then I remember talking about my C-section and how I couldn't feel anything still from it. So there's a lot of numbness from slicing, into my guts. Brenda told me that SRD should handle that. It'll bring me back in a new unit of time into my environment with my body.
That's interesting. I'm surprised that nobody told you you're not supposed to poop in public. That's what bathrooms are for.
Okay, grape nuts.
Oh, no, I was just waiting for that. I was just waiting for it. There's that Scientology can help you with that. It's the how not to poop, how to use a restroom course. Okay, so let's see. So I would like to go over this to help answer this question. The answer is simple, and LRH addresses this in two very important references. The first is HCOPL, the dissemination drill. If you just follow all the steps of that drill exactly, you will find the thing your child most wants to handle. Oh my God. They're literally suggesting that you ruin your child. Find your child's ruin.
And if he doesn't have one, ruin it do it. Just give him a ruin.
What if your child's ruin is, my mother never respects my wishes and lets me just be myself, but is always trying to push Scientology on me?
Then you're declared.
There you go. You're sent off to the Mace Kingsley Ranch. Okay. Then, okay. So you will find the thing your child most wants to handle. Then you find the exact course that will help handle that ruin. They will reach.
Oh my God.
If they are younger, you may have to check their reading level to see if they are up to the reading level of that course. If not, you can let them know they might have to do a course or two before that, so they fully get the information of the course they want, and make them a little tip. A tip is a technical individual program. It's just a sequence of courses to do. Or do that with the help of the registrar. Thank God I was never a Scientology parent. I couldn't imagine putting this much time and effort into how to trick my kids into being interested in Scientology.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. I didn't do that to Huxley because by the time he was 6 or 7, I was already having a really hard time. It was taking a lot of effort to be a Scientologist for me at that point. It wasn't flowing. It was like real efforty for me.
Maximum resistance. Oh, so this is a continuation of the same point. Okay, the help of the registrar. If the situation is dire, you can go over some basic LRH technology to relieve the immediate situation, but let them know that is not all the data. You stuck a Band-Aid on the situation and they need to get the full data to handle the situation permanently. Every local church of Scientology usually has a weekly FSM meeting. Guys, an FSM, a field staff member, is someone who makes money by introducing other people to Scientology. Where they drill this drill and answer questions to help bring people to understanding. I suggest that parents with this question attend, or at least get with their FSM in charge to drill the drill with them. The other great reference is HCOB pre-session processes. This reference is great in general, but especially for when all else fails. Follow that reference exactly and grant your child a lot of beingness while setting great examples yourself of applying the technology correctly, and things should turn out well.
But what if they don't, Diane? And also, I don't hear any granting of beingness to any of these kids.
That's right.
I don't. It's all force. I mean, are you getting that as well? This is the message behind the lady yesterday whose kid joined the Sea Org in Africa. This is all manipulation and force.
Yep.
It's just coaxing them. It's indoctrinating them into it. I mean, should we explain what granting of beingness is? Because it's actually, the definition of it is a beautiful thing if it were really applied.
Yeah, so in Scientology, the beingness would just be defined as whatever your identity is as a person is your beingness. And granting someone beingness is making them feel that who they are is important and good.
Acceptable.
Yes.
But it's very like, but live and let live, to me, is what granting of beingness means. Like, just grant them beingness. Like, let them be who they are and admire it and show it as a gift. That's what, to me, granting of beingness is. But they don't really do that.
No, I mean, imagine being a parent. You're a parent, you're a Scientologist, and you have to attend a local recruitment training seminar designed for people that bring brand new people into Scientology just to know how to interact with your own child. Like, it seems to contradict the very idea that it seems to imply your kid is not only doesn't have interest, but is against Scientology if you have to go through that much effort. Because shouldn't your child just be looking at you as a parent and going, wow, you're so great. I want to be like you. I want to do that Scientology. And you're having to go attend a freaking recruitment seminar for how to get your kid interested in a course.
Totally. That's what I mean. It's like, if you're such a shining example, they should just follow suit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, didn't she start this text? This one she started with how to get your kid interested, didn't she? Wasn't
Yeah.
at the beginning of it? It said
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, she said parents come to me. Oftentimes Scientologists are always asking, how do I get my kid interested in Scientology? Well, why isn't it okay if they're not?
Well, not only that, but just why should we need to get them interested at all? They should have first of all come from before.
They should have skipped the
They should.
implant station.
But if they didn't, aren't you setting an example enough that they're just like dying to get on course and
Right.
clear those words?
Right.
There's just so much. There's so many questions.
Absolutely. Okay. What is going on here? Hey, mamas.
This is hilarious.
E. Katarina Kanat Alexander. Hey, mamas. Any advice, resources on how to teach a toddler to read? He's only 2 years and 3 months. I never intended to start that early, but he wants it.
That was the first. I only read that when I was going through these. I was like, oh, he wants it. He really wants it.
He asks me to read every single word he sees in every book, on every box, package, etc. He's trying to read too, but at this point, it's just guesses. He also memorizes the letters very fast. He asks about them. We tell him, boom, he remembers it. Sounds like a past life OT.
Sure does. He did not go through the forgetter box.
I would totally wait until he's 4 or 5 years old, but he wants it so badly that I'd love to support him. Something super gentle to keep his attention and give him wins. I find this post to be incredibly confusing. It sounds like the child is already doing exactly what he should be doing to learn how to read, but the parent's like, oh no, what can I do? It's like, but she has just described what learning how to read looks like.
I was just thinking what Evelyn Lee Barney said. How about just let him keep doing what he's doing? Isn't that just what toddlers start doing? They start kind of, not all at the same stage, but they eventually pee in a toilet, they start to read, they start to do things to want to.
Well, unless you're Reese and you're still going to poop in public.
Or in an ice cube. I wasn't around at this time. I was in the North Atlantic, as we all know. But I just feel like it's such a weird thing to even post about. Like, what can I do? How can we get LRH to help us speed this along? Because he wants it so badly. He's really trying to sign a staff contract, but he can't sign his name yet. And we want him to be on staff. What can we do?
It's almost, is this the Scientology public version of humble bragging? Because
yes,
what confuses me about this is I was never really a public Scientologist, but my conception of what public are supposed to get from Scientology is the confidence that they have the tools to handle any problem. And yet in these Facebook groups, it's just Scientologists begging other people to help them figure out how to solve their problems.
Genius.
That's what surprised me so much is like, oh my God, can anyone explain to me how to get my child to eat their food? I'm like, what?
Yes, that's what all of these are about. It's a bunch of weirdo moms. What about the one who is like, my kid jumped off the roof and now CPS is here. What do I do?
What do I do? What if they take my kids away? Well,
and then she went into like, he's not vaccinated and we homeschool and I'm just concerned. And what kind of person puts this? I mean, I have a hard time saying that because I put my whole life on the internet now.
But the thing is,
what kind of a crazy person?
Scientologists are supposed to be all about, we have the tech to handle everything, but apparently they don't know where to find it. They have to just run around asking each other.
Yes, but it is also a humble brag. Like, notice how some of them started with like, well, first of all, I just want to say I'm an OTA. I've saved other planets. I went on to Target 2. But anyway, my kid is having trouble reading. Like, what does that have to do with anything? It's a humble brag. This group is for bragging for sure.
And then it's like, you're going to put up the post and you're going to put up a photo of your kid. Like, anyway.
Like it's all about that. Damn dog.
What does he bark at the delivery man or what?
I don't know. That's why I'm in the basement. I thought I'd set up down here because there's no noise down here.
Okay. Marissa Figueroa is next. And this one,
do you know her?
I was in the Sea Org with her.
Okay.
She was the DFT at AOLA. She would flirt with Jamie Butterworth all the time, even though they were both married. Whenever I would walk, Jamie Butterworth was the solo course practical supervisor, whenever I would walk into the course room, he would run out saying, "The cram off is here to bypass me. Help me, Marissa." Anyway, Marissa and Jamie were an interesting duo. Jamie's, I believe, getting divorced right now, and I guess Marissa isn't. So let's see what she has to say. I wanted to share a mom win. It's another mom win.
Oh my God.
With regards to consistent application of the tech, I've been giving my daughter, who just turned 2, locationals since she was a tiny baby. Reese, tell everyone what a locational is.
Oh, I've been giving Huxley locationals since he was a tiny baby. That's not a joke. Locationals are bringing someone into present time because for some reason, if a child is like Huxley, seriously, you couldn't give him the command because he was like 6 months old. But when you give someone a locational, you say, look at that, and you give an object. So look at that cloud, look at that leaf, and it's supposed to bring them out of whatever they're in, past, into present time. So when Huxley was 6 months old, sadly, he wasn't reaching to talk yet. He wasn't dying to talk. He wasn't trying to tell us. So I would just go, look at that wall, and then I would take his hand and touch it. And that's probably squirrel.
Did you take his hand to touch it, or did you turn his little face to look at it?
No, I would say, look at that wall. And if he wasn't looking, I'd go over to the wall and I'd take his hand and touch it. And then he would look at it. And I'd go, good. Look at that wall. Thank you. And
that's right. Awful. That's all a locational is.
That's it.
Usually it's walking around asking someone to look at things and then thanking them when they do it.
So if a person is like crying or angry or even probably drunk, they're just out of present time. So if you just walk around with them for 2 hours and make them look at shit, suddenly they have some epiphany and go, wow, I'm in present time.
That's right. Again, this is simply a Scientology mom humble brag, this entire post. Okay. I've been giving my daughter, who just turned 2, locational since she was a tiny baby. She's probably gotten hundreds by now. Last night she was upset. She's been fighting off a cold and it was close to dinner time, bedtime, and she was just losing her patience with everything and yelling, etc. Totally out ethics. I asked her if she needed help, and she ran into my arms and said, "Mama, I need a locational." For some reason, this was such a cool moment for me. The fact that she recognizes the effectiveness of the tech and knows that it will help her when she's interbulated. That's Scientology speak for just being upset. We did the assist, and she was super happy the rest of the night and slept all night, even with her nose being stuffed, etc. Additionally, a few weeks ago, when I was telling her I was going in session, my husband and I are both on OT7.
Oh, I like how we slipped that in.
Yeah. She got a little griefy, which is what Scientologists call crying, which is unusual. Really, it's unusual for a 2-year-old to cry. Okay.
It's weird for that kid to get griefy. She better stay up the tone scale.
Totally out of valence, down tone, out ethics. So I asked her what was going on, and she said, I want to do sessions too. I told her, remember guys, OT7 sessions is where you're telepathically auditing the alien spirits that are stuck to your body. Okay.
You're auditing yourself.
Yes. You're talking to yourself 6 times a day for about 15 minutes a session for 4 or 5 years.
With tape over the vents so that nobody can hear it. Did you know people do that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I saw them do that at the org. They would tape the vents when they would take themselves in session.
Wow. So she said, I want to do sessions too. I told her that we would do an assist after my session, and that when she got her body a little bigger, she could start her own sessions, which totally handled her and keyed her out. How would you define keyed her out?
Incredible, by the way. What an amazing mom win, I just want to say. Keyed her out. When somebody's keyed out, they're just out of their mind happy now. They're super happy and they're way up the tone scale. If you're keyed in, you're triggered by something. You're, like he said, interbulated. You're freaked out. You're worried. Anything could be keyed in is a bad thing, where you introvert and you're right here and you're in your own space and you're not extroverted.
Exactly. Anyway, we have such miraculous tech, and sometimes we can forget to use it as liberally as we should. I'm a firm believer that these kids chose our families for a reason. And so it's important we start them on receiving tech as soon as possible. Oh, so they actually owe it to the children to force Scientology on them because that's why those kids chose the Scientology
That's
family in the first place.
of course, that was just a little OT. She just wants to go back in session. That is
Wow.
such a brag. Going back over that particular one, I have a mom win. She talked about herself. Wait, her and her husband, right? We're both on 7.
Yeah.
And she wanted to go in session. She was a little griefy that she couldn't. Like, what is the purpose of that story?
Yeah. Exactly. What was the win? The win is my 2-year-old is better than your 2-year-old. It's Scientology mom wars. Real housewives of Scientology.
Because they're returnee.
Actually, that is a really good name for a channel.
What? Scientology Mom Wars?
Real Housewives of Scientology.
That is a good name for a channel.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should call these lives, though, because we have so many more to do.
Hold on, just got to take care of something real quick. That's done. Okay, I see
yeah.
the next one. We have Katarina Kanat Alexander is back. Hey, mamas. 2 days ago, my toddler had a small surgery. All is good now. I haven't read this one through. I hope we're not in for some weird surprises here.
I haven't read this one either.
All is good now. He was discharged an hour after waking up. Okay. Why are you okay? I want to thank everyone for your tips. It made a huge difference. Here's what I learned. Helpful before and after stuff. Leafy prana supplement is awesome. We didn't even need Tylenol, etc. Besides what he was given in the hospital. What the hell is leafy prana?
I don't know, but I'm sure you didn't need Tylenol. I'm sure he was just fine. No pain after a surgery.
Yeah.
That's another sad thing. Like, the kid probably was in pain.
Yeah. But he was only screaming due to the engramic restimulation. So
yeah, we just gave him a locational. The pain stopped.
Painkillers would have made it worse. I used Traumiel cream around the incision and it looks like it's healing fast. I brought new sticker books and a new busy book to the hospital and it made the pre-surgery waiting very easy. Okay. So that's Scientology tech working 100% of the time, at least 60% of the time.
Definitely at least 60.
I don't remember the LH reference on sticker books, but kudos. At home, we also
weird because I just want to say they're treating him like a child, though. Sticker books, like, give me a break. They didn't bring like one of the tech balls.
He should have been working on his books and lectures, at least Science of Survival.
Or student hat. Like, I'm a little embarrassed for this kid, but go on.
Okay. At home, we also did liquid glutathione. Yeah, how do you pronounce that? Glutathione is how I choose to pronounce that. We did liquid glutathione to counter the hospital Tylenol. They were trying to counteract the effect of the Tylenol.
Yeah, Tylenol, guys. Not morphine. Tylenol.
Wow. She says, talk to the whole team. I spoke to every nurse, anesthesiologist, and the surgeon who were going to be in the room to make sure we are on board regarding what drugs to use and regarding silent surgery.
I bet you were popular. Can you imagine telling those people how to do their jobs?
Yeah. Actually, somebody sent me a website recently about silent surgery, and it's a Scientology website, and I'm going to do a video on that. We should do it together.
You should.
It wasn't completely silent, but at least there was no music and random chit-chatting. Apparently, they can do spinal blocks for little kids, like an epidural, but lower with lidocaine. We agreed because it's so much better than opioids. Overall, the drugs were kept to the minimum. I thought the cocktail would be much worse. Usborne. Wait, what? Usborne. Oh, what? Usborne going to the hospital. That must be okay. I don't know. I guess if you Google going to the hospital book, I don't know. Usborne going to the hospital book was the best. I checked a few others, but they were too complicated or too much into. I understand you're afraid, but.
Oh my God.
This book gave a simple matter-of-fact story without any mis-emotion. You almost never see Scientologists using that word in the wild.
Never. Tell us what it means, Aaron. In your own words, please.
Any emotion other than exhilaration, happiness, cheerfulness. Some Scientologists will go, no, 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 it's okay to exhibit negative emotion as long as it's appropriate for the circumstances. But in practice, it's any negative emotion, fear, apathy, anger, anything other than just being natural, relaxed, friendly, and happy is
So
misemotion.
it's just me on my period. That's all it means.
Exactly. I hyped up my toddler about the whole experience. He was eager to ride a car bed, a hospital bed with wheels, and to fix his yucky thingy hernia. Okay, fine. Again, why? What the point of this entire post is what exactly? Oh, maybe we're getting to it.
I don't
Stand
think there has
by.
been one yet.
Yeah. Stand by your silent surgery choice. Most of the team totally agreed, but one anesthesiologist was adamant that the team works much better if there's music and they can chit chat. I'll clarify, quote, I'll clarify with the surgeon, but I cannot guarantee that we will be able to not talk. Thankfully, the surgeon said she likes quiet rooms and she doesn't allow any chit chat, leave alone music. Most operating rooms, in my experience, which is limited, have music.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine going to tell a doctor or an anesthesiologist, by the way, today at work, you're not allowed to listen to music because this child Scientologist parent says you're harming your patients by doing that.
Again, what's the big deal anyway? We've talked about this before, but what is the big deal? They freak out about silence during any kind of an engram recording. So that could be surgery like this guy's, but it could also be someone falling and hitting their head. You don't have to be unconscious for that to happen. So you just get quiet, right? If we have the tech to solve and clean it up,
That's the thing. Exactly.
what's the big deal about music playing?
That's the thing. It's crazy. And actually, this is interesting because if you remember in the book Dianetics, the premise of that book is that anything that happened to you in the womb that contained pain and unconsciousness is the sole primary cause of anything that's psychosomatically wrong with you in your life. And that by erasing those early engrams, and this is why L. Ron Hubbard said that, and this is a strange word to use in a YouTube video, attempted but failed abortions are like the single most destructive thing on the human psyche because of the psychosomatic illnesses that Hubbard says follow on as a result of that moment of pain and unconsciousness. Now, what happened is that once L. Ron Hubbard went from Dianetics to Scientology, went from this lifetime to start talking about past life stuff, he stopped talking about attempted abortions as being some big deal because his whole story changed. He said, in fact, nothing that happens to you in this lifetime has any aberrative quality whatsoever because it's already happened to you billions and trillions of times before on your whole track. We no longer really give a damn about what happened to you in the womb this lifetime. And yet Scientologists are still infatuated with preventing this lifetime engrams. Even if you believe in Scientology, that doesn't make any damn sense.
Correct. But it is such a worry for Scientologists, you guys. It's I can't explain this more seriously. Like, if Aaron, you experience this too in the Sea Org, I'm sure, but like anytime you're around a group of Scientologists, if somebody just you could not stub your toe, but like just a light thing, like run
If you
into
whacked
something.
your shin, if you whacked your shin on the corner of a desk,
Anything.
Yeah.
People will go. Like, it's a weird thing. I just have to say, because I really believe that in my heart, like when Huxley would fall, I'd be like in the room, I'd be like, everybody be quiet. I remember, you guys, Doug, my father-in-law was a dentist. I needed my wisdom teeth pulled and he wasn't comfortable doing it. So he sent me to a oral surgeon. And of course, the oral surgeon did the consultation and said, now we typically put our patients out for this. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to be put out for that. And he was like, are you sure you don't want to be put out? And I'm like, dude, I'm a Scientologist. Guns blazing. I can do it. I didn't say that, but that's what I'm thinking. Like, no, because you don't want to be put out. Like, you want to avoid that as much as possible. This is like the story we're reading. I just said, this is funny. I wasn't put out. He pulled my teeth with just Novocaine. It was no big deal. I was done in 10 minutes. And the guy behind me, like there was a room right behind me and he was being put out and they were like having him count down to like 10. And I'm sitting there like waiting for the Novocaine to kick out. And the dude I remember going back to the org to tell this story, and everybody was like livid. The guy behind me's Aaron, stop. The guy behind me is being put out, and they have music playing. And it was this song, and everybody at the org was like, oh my God, he's going to be paranoid the rest of his life. It was that Alan Parsons song, and it was like, I am the eye in the sky looking at you. It was like, I can read your mind. And I was like, I'm seriously waiting for the Novocaine to kick in, panicking for this guy. I was like, oh no, he's being put out. And they're like counting down for him to go out. And it's like, I am the eye in the sky. And it was like, I was like, no, he's going to have this horrible engram kick in when he wakes up. And he's going to be like paranoid when he gets home. And he's going to be like, everybody's watching me. He's going to get like blackout curtains.
I imagine you there trying to give him like counter commands, like, no one's watching you. It's just a song.
You're safe. You're safe.
I'm here for you.
Yes. You guys, I seriously was
Stay
so
away from the light. Go to Scientology.
Just get in session as fast as you can when you wake up. Yes, that was like, I was seriously worried for the man. I was really sad about it for a long time. And I told all my Scientology people, and they were like, that's horrible. That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing, is to like have any kind of talking or commands going on while a person is unconscious. So that is hilarious. But that's why this lady's saying that, like, no music.
But, you know, I don't remember a Scientologist ever going, I don't understand. Why don't we just do a Dianetics session right after it? And why does this have to be such a big deal?
What's the big deal? That's what the pregnancy assist is for, to like handle the engram, right?
Right.
Like, why wouldn't you just go in session?
Yeah.
Why would you even worry telling the doctors what to do? You would just be like, that's okay. We have the technology to just handle whatever happened. So whatever happens, happens.
In fact, all I would want to do, if I actually cared about such a thing, would be to run an audio recording so that I had a record of everything that was actually said. Like if I was the parent and I truly cared about such a thing, which even when I was in Scientology, I did not, I would want to record whatever the potential engramic commands were and make sure those commands were taken up in session. Who gives a shit?
I don't know who gives a shit. I mean, I gave a shit. Clearly, I gave a shit for a stranger. I was so worried about that poor guy. But it's it's weird. We have the tech to handle it. Why wouldn't you just handle it? I don't get it.
That is funny. Okay, so let's see. What else does it say here? Okay, yeah, 10. I studied the silent surgery website. It's amazing. Someone just sent me this website in an email last week. Specifically, our type of surgery. Okay, so hernia surgery, and made a table with all the okay drugs on one side and all the not okay drugs on the other side, printed and laminated, brought it to the hospital. It helped when talking to the anesthesiologist. They didn't use anything that wasn't okay. They did ask where this list came from, and I just said it came from another doctor. Help me understand, where's she getting this list of good drugs and not good drugs from? There's no such list in Scientology.
There is no such list. That is Jeff's favorite band. There is no such list.
Yeah. What did it just say? No, maybe it was don't give my kid like a Valium or something. But they would never give a 2-year-old a Valium. I don't know. Can you do IV Valium?
I was never against this. I had a 10-pound kid. So there was no way I was going to be like, no drugs for me. Now I can get my wisdom teeth pulled. Okay. But I'm not having. So I don't know. I was never totally okay and on board with this. I was like, give me the drugs.
I had thought that you were going to say that as this guy was being put under, you were just screaming your head off in pain and agony.
No,
like,
aren't you?
You're killing me. Make it stop.
No, aren't you? You don't like having dental work done, right?
I love going to the dentist because I have perfect teeth. What I've said is, you got to put me under for anything. I went under general anesthesia just to get wisdom teeth, one wisdom tooth out. I was like, knock my ass out.
That's right. It was one tooth for you, and you were knocked out.
It was supposed to be 2.
What if we knocked you out when you got your tooth pulled and we played something like Pink Floyd's Money? Would you come out like Grant Cardone? Like, would you all of a sudden be loaded?
Yeah, you got to get your money right. You got to get your money right. Why didn't they teach us there was levels to this game? Yeah, bro, you got to get your money right. Have you seen my jet?
I hate that guy so much. Such a dick swinger. I just wonder though, like depending on the song or the command given while a person is out, can we change their whole course of life for the better?
Well, L. Ron Hubbard specifically said there's no positive commands in an engram. An engram is not possible of acting upon you constructively. So it didn't work for Grant Cardone. It didn't work for L. Ron Hubbard. But
That's a shame.
But it's funny because L. Ron Hubbard still did believe that you could PDH someone with these hypnotic commands to turn them into like sleeper agents to infiltrate Scientology on behalf of the CIA. And so for some reason, positive suggestion works in that case, but positive suggestion, he says, does not work in engram. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I wish we could ask him about it.
Yes.
To clarify, PDH, guys, is pain, drug, and hypnosis.
Pain, drug, hypnosis. Okay, let's see where she goes with this. What I would do differently, as if she's the only Scientologist who's ever had a kid who got a hernia operation. Okay, we went to UCSF Hospital. It's a training facility, so there are residents at every procedure, and there's talking, surgeon and anesthesiologist explaining their actions to the residents. If I ever plan a surgery for myself or family member again, I'll do my best to find a non-training facility. We picked UCSF because they're famous for their quality and usually they're very up to date with the latest research as much as a conventional medicine place can be. As opposed to what? Okay, I just didn't think about the training part too. I also recommend finding out what the recovery rooms look like. Ours had curtains instead of walls and doors, so we could hear everything happening in the hallway and next door and their intercom messages.
So you could hear people screaming.
Yes. Tough part. I was in the operating room with my baby when they rendered him unconscious. No one warned me how hard it is to watch, even though it was just a minute long. Thankfully, my husband was in the hospital too, so he gave me a locational.
Oh, smart.
I'm
Look at that dead guy. Good. Look at the person without a head. Excellent.
Oh my God. Okay.
What is a locational like in a hospital?
Oh
wow.
My goodness. Someone's talking about some shenanigans in the live chat, but I can't see it.
Oh.
That's all right. Let's see. Okay, so she needed a locational. She's a class 5 auditor and she's on OT7, so she never thought it would be so hard. But yet it was. So I wonder what that means to her or for her or whatever. Okay. My point is be there for your baby, but set up an assist just in case. Surprisingly easy part, recovery. I expected my baby to be cranky for a few days. Nope. He's a little slower than before. What?
What does that mean? Is he not putting his exchange in? Wait.
He's slower. What? He was only 2 to begin with. So what? I don't know. I can see that he moves or bends a little more carefully. He just had a damn surgery.
Hernia surgery. That's wow.
Yeah. Here's a photo of him driving back home after the surgery. I don't know. Well, I'm not going to show the photo.
No.
Okay, let's jump into this one. Anonymous member, which I got to be honest, that's a little weird in a Scientology group to be anonymous.
I think it's weird too.
Hi, moms. Looking for advice about my daughter. 5 years old, super smart, uptone, and communicative at home. Yesterday, her kindergarten teacher told me that she is not in communication with other children, doesn't engage playing with them, but plays alone. Often doesn't answer questions when being asked, lacks confidence, and is shy. Sounds normal for a 5-year-old, you know.
Yeah, but
when I pick her up,
forget her.
Yeah, exactly. When I pick her up, she seems to go up the tone scale immediately and starts to be in calm, even with the teachers. Every word uttered so far sounds like completely normal behavior for a child. But this parent What can I do to fix my child?
It's so, aren't these just like they have the same pattern? They're so weird. Like, let the kid be a kid. Maybe that? No? Okay.
Yeah. She responds very well to any tech I give her. We've been painting and demonstrating the calm cycle. I went over the Scientology CS1 with her. Guys, that's a list of Scientology words to go down and make sure they're understood. Like, so when you're getting Scientology auditing, the first step is to make sure you understand all the basic words that are going to be used in the Scientology auditing procedure. And that's what a Scientology CS1 is. Doing that with a 5-year-old is insane.
Totally nuts. Totally nuts.
I went over the Scientology CS1 with her and the reactive mind. Since
A
then,
5-year-old.
yeah, a 5-year-old. Since then, her calm cycle has improved also at home and I think at school with the teachers, but not with the children. Any ideas? What in the hell is she expecting here?
Oh,
Her
it's
5-year-old is just a little shy.
yeah, like that's it. None of that is alarming to me. She's not
Yeah.
in communication with other children, doesn't don't know because I was reading it, but just all those
Oh,
things seem
sorry.
very normal. Well, it's fine. You don't have to go back. But all of
Oh.
those things seem very normal to me.
Yeah.
And it seems normal that she'd be shy at school, but then when you pick her up, she extroverts with her mom again. Like,
Exactly. She misses her
what?
parents a little bit. She feels
Yeah.
comfortable when she's being held by her parents.
5, guys. 5, not 15. 5.
I got to be honest, it's not possible to do a Scientology CS1 on a 5-year-old.
I wouldn't think so.
I wish I could actually pull it up and give examples of what is of what's on a Scientology CS1. Let me just see if I can find it real quick.
You might be able to.
We got a PTS CS1 that's different. Okay, I don't want to look for it. I changed my mind. Yeah, it's funny because again, all the posts from these Scientology moms are either just humble brags or please tell me how I can fix my kid. And what's crazy is that a lot of the stuff that gets put in these groups, you know, in the Scientology world would qualify as verbal tech. And verbal tech is considered a high crime. I am surprised that these groups are allowed to persist by the Scientology, by Miscavige, really.
I don't think Miscavige knew anything about these groups. Do you? I don't. I've been in this group since Huxley was born. So 14 years. I don't think he knew about it.
I don't know. Yeah, that might have been actually all that we lined up for this one.
Really?
Yep. I mean, which is fine. We're going for an hour 12.
Yeah, I'm shocked that we covered all that, but yes, we did. Guys, that was fun.
We
And
have hundreds more.
Hundreds. Yeah. And I wonder if those hundreds, I mean, I haven't read them myself. Even when I sent you today, I was like, I don't know. I just screenshot it and sent it to you. I wonder, are they all going to be like this? Just humble brags about, it's not about their kids. If you notice, it's about them and how they handle things and how they went over the CS1 with her and how they do the word clearing. And it's not ever like the kid. It's, I'm on 7 and these are my stats, right? And that's what it seems like. That's what that group seems like it's for. It's just to brag.
Yeah. Do we want to go through some of the super chats real quick?
Oh yeah.
Because I was just looking at one and it's one that I thought should be answered. Okay, I have the answer. All right, let's go through this. Barb says, if they let me into that school group, I don't even know. I think Barb's trying to get into some of these groups. Barb says, also, not sure you saw, but we lost one of the lifeboat crew. Tommy is a mess. It was Buddha waiting for treatment. I know you'll contact him. Oh, I did not see that. I saw, the lifeboat crew is Tommy Scovel's channel, The Lifeboat. And it sounds like one of the viewers has passed away.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I'll contact Tommy afterwards. Thank you, Barb, for letting me know. Aura says, I just learned about the abuse Reese had to endure from her father. Simply awful. Scientology wants to attract healthy, resourceful people. How many have mental issues in your experience? In Scientology, you don't think of things in terms of mental issues or not. And so it's hard to even, I wouldn't even know how to begin to answer that question.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say a lot. I don't know, but like I've met a lot of weird and like off balance Scientologists. And I don't know what to diagnose them as, but I would say they had mental issues for sure.
And that doesn't
For
even take
sure.
into consideration all the people on the OT levels who are convinced that they can telepathically communicate with the floating alien souls that are stuck to their bodies. And there might be some spirited debate on whether that qualifies as having mental issues.
I would say yes.
I know that if I locked myself in a room 6 times a day for 15 minutes at a shot to telepathically communicate with the alien souls that were infesting my body, somebody would probably, issue a wellness check on me.
I think you'd turn into Jack Nicholson in The Shining. I mean, it's what it's like. It's weird. It's isolating. It's weird. Starting to go to a little cuckoo. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You haven't seen that movie, have you?
I don't think I've seen that movie.
Oh,
I of course know of the movie. I'm just not, and I'm sure I've seen parts of it. I'm just not sure I've seen it.
It's actually pretty good, and I'm afraid of scary movies, but it's good.
Danny Doom. Hi guys, question. By your observation, what are some of the common character traits of people who are most attracted to Scientology? I've got a very non-controversial response to this one. And it's usually just people who honestly, for whatever reason or another, are sort of desperately wanting to improve something about their life. Is that a character trait? Other than that, I wouldn't be able to give you a common thread other than someone who wants to improve their life and something has convinced them that Scientology is going to give them the tools to do that.
Or someone who's easy to manipulate. Honestly, like if you think about that, if they want to improve something in their life, they may not reach for Scientology. Scientology may reach for them and find their ruin, and then they're easy to manipulate and bring into the org and get them going.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Beck says they wouldn't do this to their babies if they saw how I turned out. Is Beck a Scientology kid?
Don't know.
Sounds like it. Heather Lopez, 9 months. She'll have David Miscavige's job by 4 years old. Hashtag fast tracked. Yeah. They need to get him young these days. Barbara says, OMG, waiting in car for hubby to bring back his RV and heard the dick swinging song. Made my day. I did not know there was a song.
There is a song.
Did you sing the song?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
She just heard us talking about dick swinging.
Yeah. Ms. Pillow, off topic, just received an email from Scientology Business to confirm my subscription to Scientology Business. How did they get my private email and why would they send this to me? I forwarded it to the Department of Homeland Security. Ms. Pillow, that's cracking me up. I did have to double check. That is in fact Apostate Alex's website. That is not a Scientology website.
Oops.
Alex created a website called Scientologybusiness.com and he posts content to it. Ms. Pillow to DHS for phishing. Now, the question would be, how did Alex get your email address? So perhaps you gave it to him, Ms. Pillow. Otherwise, Alex is going to be answering questions from the Department of Homeland Security, apparently.
No big deal.
No big deal. Okay, Kazri of Hecate.com. October 21st. Demonstration at Big Blue Celebrity Center, start time, other details. So actually it is outside of the Celebrity Center International. Kazri, if you go onto my YouTube channel and you go to the community tab, I pasted a flyer for the demonstration. The address is wrong. Like it's like whatever this, let's just say the Celebrity Center address is 5930. The poster says like 5390, but just go to the Celebrity Center. Just look it up, whether it's 5390, 5930, whatever.
It's a protest.
It's a demonstration. It's a protest put on by Alex Nikolai or Alexis Nikolai. I'm sorry, I always get it wrong. Apologies, Alexis. let me pull up her channel. She's an actress who was on a Nickelodeon show called Zoe 101. Alex, I'm getting.
I want to go.
You should come. I'm going to be there. Why do I always get her name wrong? It's embarrassing. Alexis. Oh, I almost had it there. We're getting closer. Alexa Nicholas. That's why, because it's on there. Alexa Nicholas has a channel called Eat Predators, and her demonstrating against Scientology has to do with Scientology's practice of covering up the crimes of predators and preventing victims from going to the authorities. And I'm going to be there, and a lot of other people are going to be there. I'll be live streaming it for my channel, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So it is October 21st. It's something like 10 a.m. to 2 or 12 p.m. to 4, one of those things. But you can find the flyer on my community tab. It's also on my Twitter account, and I think you'll be seeing a lot of other people promoting it as well.
So are you just going and then flying home? Or are you going to be like there for the week or?
I'll be out here for a couple days,
Okay.
Fly in the night before, fly out the day after. Ms. Pillow, Hans Christian Schwartz explained it. There you go. Bada bang. And short super chats saving for plane ticket to LA. There you go.
Nice.
What does clearing words mean? Go ahead. Tell everyone what clearing words means.
Clearing words just means to go to the word in the dictionary, and then usually it will have more than one definition, and you go through each definition, and you start by reading the definition. You give what that means in your own words, and then you make a whole bunch of sentences until you feel like you have a firm understanding of the word. If you're doing it by yourself, that's what you do. If you're doing it with someone else, they may make you make more and more sentences. It just depends. They may go, okay, yeah, make another sentence. What does that mean to you? Make another sentence. So you just do that. Then you get the derivation of where the word came from. There's a whole thing of steps that goes into it. That's how you clear a word.
Jeff Augustine says, Facebook is not part of LRH Tech. That is why Squirrel Facebook works only 60% of the time when applied 100% of the time. By the way, kids cannot read because of because of implants. Yes. Yes, because they did not skip the between lives area. That's
right. That's right.
Hope and assume you'll answer Reese's super chats too. Well, all the super chats come to the same feed. We can't tell whose super chats belong to who, so we just go through them all.
Yeah.
Ms. Pillow says, no worries, I canceled the DHS report. Well, Alex will appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. Well, this has been fun. Let's do this again very, very soon. I'm doing a chat with Sterling and Mike Brown in an hour. And then later this evening, I'm doing another chat with Mitch. So this is a busy Sunday. I think tomorrow I'm going to take it easy.
Okay.
Yeah. You got any live streams coming up later today?
I might do one this evening. I'm not really sure. We'll see. And then tomorrow, if you're taking tomorrow easy, I'll might just do one on my own.
Jump over to YouTube, find Reese at Relatable Reese if you're not already subscribed to her channel. And look at you. You're getting damn close to 13,000.
I know. I'm getting up there.
Hot diggity. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us this afternoon. Thank you, as always, to everyone who watches until the very end. And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.